Xbox have found themselves in the middle of a series of rumours and leaks to the point that they've had to announce a Futures of Xbox business update next week, which will hopefully shed some light on whether or not they are actually planning to bring some of their titles over to other platforms. Now, we can't expect Nintendo, as they aren't necessarily in direct competition with each other there. But it now seems they are also considering bringing over these games to the ps5, which feels very surprising. And they even seem to have been investing in procuring more PS5 dev kits. At least that's what the leaks are starting to suggest. Well, I don't think it's likely that we'll see Game Pass on these other platforms, or even potentially a physical release, as Xbox have now closed down their physical release department, which fills me with great hurt, but I guess that's the future. It doesn't come as much of a shock to me, though. It doesn't, particularly after Limited Run have said that the majority of Xbox gamers, as far as they are concerned, are digital first, as opposed to PlayStation and Nintendo. And Limited Run have skipped out on bringing some games they've ported to Xbox because they couldn't guarantee the sales, and it would cost them too much to do that. And I guess they're a business at the end of the day. Now, this is probably because Game Pass is ingrained in the Xbox ecosystem. Look, I have Game Pass, albeit I use it on my laptop. I don't have an Xbox. But Xbox have said before, they don't care where you play your games, as long as you play them. And when it's not your primary system, it makes complete sense, especially with a cost of living crisis. I can't afford £70 for every new game I want. It is the best deal in gaming for gamers. Now, their reasoning for going this route instead of full exclusives, I feel like it could come down to Microsoft. The Xbox department spent a lot of money on this acquisition. And Microsoft might now be wanting to see a bit more of an immediate return on that significant investment, particularly with license deals for Game Pass. They also take up a significant chunk of change. And while this is making Xbox profit, they've said that Game Pass is profitable. We don't know by how much and whether that is a sustainable model. And if we gauge the TV and film streaming, lots of those have been operating at a loss. Disney wrote off a lot of its content for tax reasons. So it worries me, and it worries me as a gamer. We might get priced out. As gaming streaming services become the norm, as games have a significant cost, some AAA games are made with a couple of million. Think of the next Rockstar game, I wouldn't want to think of how much that's going to cost. Some games are cheaper to make, but there's still a licensing cost for Xbox to put it on the platform if they don't develop it internally, which will then mean an increase in monthly prices for us. But them releasing their games on various platforms will help in combat the cost increases they are facing. Now, this all did start with a bunch of rumours and leaks about an Xbox exclusive being brought over, and all the signs originally pointed to it being Hi-Fi Rush, which made sense. It's a smaller title with a unique premise, it has platforming elements, it sounds perfect for a Nintendo platform. It also has a brilliant story that could bring attention to some of the other exclusives coming to Xbox. I absolutely loved the story. One of my favourite games I played of 2023. And I guess it has been around for about a year, so long enough of an exclusive window. At least that's what we thought. Now there are reports of Starfield coming to PS5 and the new Indiana Jones game coming just a few months after launch on Xbox, completely throwing a spanner in the works and adding more confusion into the void, with tweets flying towards members of the Xbox team, with Phil Spencer's hands being twisted to announce they're going to speak about the future of Xbox next week. So why would they do this? Yes, they may want to see that return on their investment, and I'd rather them try to reach more gamers so these studios could potentially make more and hopefully, even if it's just a little bit, put a stop to some of the layoffs at these studios, as we've seen way too many of those. And if this is the best way to do it, then I guess this is the way it is forward, and as long as it stops that. The reports have suggested it is sales driven, which kind of scans. Hi-Fi Rush was the first game mentioned, and all the way back in April last year, it was again reported that Microsoft were unhappy with how it performed sales-wise, despite the amazing reviews it received. Which I guess is to be expected if you can pay a subscription service and you can play the game straight away for barely a third of the price of a full-price game just for that month. especially if you've already got that service, which most people did, you're going to use that. Xbox have insisted that all their games are on Game Pass at launch, which, after that comment, I was skeptical of. Admittedly, Xbox VP of Marketing tweeted they were happy with the game in all metrics. And what I think is happening is Xbox was happy with the result and understanding the impact Game Pass will have on the overall sales, but still understanding that, yes, it made money in that regard. But Microsoft, being in charge of Xbox overall, I guess, were expecting a more traditional revenue stream from the game. And I think they're the ones who are making the decision to port games to multiple platforms. But could this also be a sign that Xbox is going to step away from making hardware and going more towards a digital approach, a third-party publisher approach? You know what? It could be all three. Digital, third-party publisher, and moving away from hardware. I guess we've got to wait till next week to find out. But with all these rumours and reports coming out, Xbox might be feeling a bit of pressure. So yeah, let me know what you're thinking down in the comments below. And if you like it, click the subscribe button.